Good morning. Welcome to Forgiveness Fridays. I have a couple things I want to post in the comments along the way, so I'm going to have to pause and do that. No slides today. I'm just going to talk to you. But I'm so excited to see you. So I also have my notes. I'm a big note person because either I forget what to say and I don't say anything at all, or I ramble too far. So I have my notes. So welcome to Forgiveness Fridays. I'm Sylvia McIntosh and I'm your host. I was trained through the Fearless Living Institute in Sherman Oaks, California, led by Rhonda Britton. And I am both a certified Fearless Life Coach and a certified Fearless Trainer. This is our 8th session in this series of meetings designed to form a community to practice forgiveness in support of healing the holes in the souls of humanity. Feel free to post questions or comments along the way today. I love questions, and I hope that you will join our conversation in our Forgiveness Fridays Zoom chat, which will meet at 8:30. You do need an invitation for that, so let me post. What you do is you should be on my Make Your Life Your Own page. There is an email sign up there. If you'll sign up there, then I can email you the invitation. Or if you'll send me a private message, then I can PM you the invitation as soon as I'm done talking here and I can see those messages. So this will probably be over around 8:15, 8:20, and then at 8:30, we'll meet live in the Zoom chat. So I hope you will join me for that. And remember, by joining the Zoom chat, getting that information, then I can also email you the PDF free versions of all of the exercises that we have done so far so that you have them for your reference. Or just in case you're just now beginning with us, getting started with us, you can see what some of the exercises are that we've been using to guide us through the process of forgiveness. We have two, and today I'm going to go in a slightly different direction too. I don't have a specific exercise for you today. I really want to have more of a conversation about the process of self-forgiveness and why I think that's so important. So we're going to get to that in a moment. I would also like to announce that in June and July, Forgiveness Fridays is going to start meeting at 9 o'clock and the Zoom chats will move to 9:30. We have friends out in California who are a part of all this. So I'm trying to make the time just a little bit more friendly for them. And we'll take a look at August later. I'm also a substitute school teacher and I have a job starting right as soon as school starts. So I won't be able to be here on Friday, but we'll figure that out later. So next week will still be at 8 o'clock and 8:30 for the Zoom chat. And then not in June, we'll move to 9 o'clock and 9:30. And by the way, we can practice this every day of the week. I call it Forgiveness Fridays because that's when I'm live. So we have 2 goals for this program. The first one is to release ourselves from the past so we can function fully and freely in the present moment. And the second focus is specifically aimed at helping the second focus is on focusing on a positive energy, generating positive energy for ourselves and getting away from the whole concept of blame and hate that seems to be so prevalent in the news and has sort of been exasperated by the pandemic here now. Now there's the great debate on, are we feeling safe or are we being controlled, which once again is just ending in blame and hate. So I really feel like forgiveness is a wonderful practice for maintaining our own peace of mind, being open to what possible solutions are, and being able to stay present in the conversation. We have defined forgiveness as the release of an event or comment so it can stay in the past, which is where it really lives or should stay. I like to think of this as cutting a kite string, because there have been times where I really thought I'd let the event go, but I'm just holding on to just a little bit, like maybe waiting to see them either apologize or pay for it or some sort of something, and then I realize it's not forgiven. So by going through these exercises and this process, I'm really trying to cut that kite string, let those events fly away, It's not about saying they're okay. It's just about no longer pulling that into today, reliving it now, making myself angry or hurt or frightened all over again from a memory. Still don't have to invite those people into my life actively. Still don't have to participate in whatever that was. And I don't have to keep reliving it. So forgiveness is about no longer living it. So that brings us to our meandering path of forgiveness for today. I really want to focus on forgiving ourselves. And I want to talk about self-forgiveness as opposed to just letting ourselves off the hook. And here's where I think the difference comes in. Letting ourselves off the hook is, oh, well, it doesn't matter. Self-forgiveness is, okay, I wish I hadn't done it that way. I wish I hadn't said that, done that, not done that, whatever it is. And now that I realize that, now that I realize the choice that I just made isn't bringing me to where I want, what choice do I need to make to move me to where I want to be? So in that moment, I was scared, there was some unneed met, something was going on that caused me to make that choice. I was triggered. So I made a choice, and now I wish I hadn't. So the forgiveness process for me means, so what choice do I make moving forward to get me where I want to go, to help me be who it is I want to be? We haven't talked about intentions here, which is another Rhonda Britton Fearless Living tool. But intentions are a willing to practice statement about how I want to be present. So today I am willing to practice, and then we put how it is we want to be. So I have a couple that I've been working with. One I've been working with for several years now, and one I really came up with after starting this program. And the first one was, today I am willing to practice cherishing the innocence in myself and others. Now that supports me in how I want to be present, because if I am cherishing my innocence, then I'm not going to get caught up in a lot of blame and anger and frustration when I do lose my temper or do lash out or do panic and retreat from a situation where maybe I wanted to stay present and lost track of how. But if I cherish my innocence, then, like I was saying a minute ago, I can stop and take a breath and take a look at what would I need to do to stay here, and what is it I would like to get out of being present. And then there was another part of that which I've lost already. That's okay. Letting myself off the hook, though, just means it's okay for me to retreat, to go back to bed, to eat the half a gallon of ice cream, or usually I stop at a quart, but anyway, it's still way more than a single serving. So it becomes a self-destructive behavior. Oh, intention. So the other intention that I've been working with right now is, today I'm willing to practice leading with forgiveness. In a lot of ways, to me, that's the same as cherishing the innocence. And other thing cherishing the innocence does is it gives me more space to remember that whatever the other person may seem to be doing, however hurtful or angry or stupid or whatever my judgment about it is, I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know what's in their past. I don't know what happened either a few minutes before I saw them or years ago. I don't know what their pain is that is surfacing in this moment and causing this behavior that I may have triggered in them, and yet it is still not really my fault or my responsibility that they are behaving the way they are. I can't actually be responsible for anyone who is not one of my children under the age of 18. And even then, it's a legal responsibility. There I have the opportunity to teach and to try to provide tools so that they will be able to move through life in a way that they find supportive and helpful and allow them to love themselves. But ultimately, I'm not responsible for the choices they make. I'm responsible for information that I can make available, and I'm responsible for myself as an example. But the only person I can really control is me. So when it comes to choice and control, that's all about me. So being able to forgive me is how I help support myself in moving through life with greater grace for myself and greater grace for others, and being able to stay present in really challenging conversations. And I've had a couple really wonderful experiences with that here lately, that without this forgiveness practice, I would have written this person off and been out of the conversation and it would have been over. But because I was able to stay present, because I was able to remind myself I don't know where he's coming from, I don't know what his background is, I don't know what the words he just said really mean to him, but I would like to know. Now, if the conversation gets heated, I may need to ask for time. Can we stop this conversation now and come back to it later? And then the forgiveness for me includes actually coming back to the conversation. Saying I don't want to talk about this, we'll do it later, and then just ghosting, that's not fair, and that's not the process. So self-forgiveness, this also comes back to like when you're on an airplane and they tell you, put your own life mask on first. You run out of oxygen, you're not going to do any good for anyone, because then everyone's unconscious. But if you take care of yourself first, get that oxygen mask in place, make sure you have what you have to have, then you will have the air and the energy and the ability to think clearly and help others. This is also like the skiing into the trees example I gave a few weeks ago when I was first learning to ski, and the instructor said, if you don't want to ski into the trees, look at the path. You will go where you are looking. If you're afraid of the trees and you focus on the trees, you're going to ski right into them. So if I am looking for blame, if I'm looking for how others are wrong, if I am looking for trouble from others, I'll find it. But if I'm really looking for their innocence, if I'm really looking to understand where they might be coming from or what it is they need in this moment, then that allows me to stay present. And that's what I call leading with forgiveness. And so for me, it's just a little extra layer on this idea of cherishing the innocence in myself and others. All of this started when I came across an interview with a lady by the name of Spring Washam. So I'm going to post in the comments below a link to one of her videos on YouTube. I can no longer find the interview where I first saw her, but what I really liked about her and what really resonated with me in her was the way she talked about the meditation practice she uses, about loving herself and cherishing herself and reminding herself of how good she is. Because our tendency when we talk to ourselves, I think this is particularly true of women, having never been a man that I'm aware of, it's a little hard for me to say, but we're so hard on ourselves. We're taught to get it right, to be quiet, to be calm, to make it look easy, and none of that is actually true or important. What's important is to make an effort. What's important is to do our best. What's important is to keep taking steps toward where we want to be, which is going to have to include letting go of blame or shame or frustration about missteps, and take a look at that opportunity and say, okay, so that isn't the result I wanted. What can I learn? And what can I do differently next time? And then practicing the new steps. So the practice of intention, remember, is I am willing to practice, and then you choose how you want to be present. And what I keep hoping for is to be present in a gracious and calm way. For those of you who know me personally, I can do that sometimes, but there's a little prickly pear that likes to come surfacing at times, and I would like to calm her down. So meditation, I'm curious to know how many of you practice meditation and what it looks like for you. who you like to follow or who your instructors may have been or who your inspirations may have been. So I hope you'll join me in the Zoom chat, which will start at 8:30. So we have about 15 minutes before that. If you don't already have the Zoom chat information, please sign up for my email list on the Make Your Life Your Own coaching page here on Facebook. There's a email sign up. You can sign up there or send me a private message. And when this video is over, I can send you the link so that you can join the conversation. I would love to hear about that. Your assignment for today, your mission for today, if you choose to accept, is to do a quick inventory of how your forgiveness practice is coming along. Which practices, which exercises that we've talked about so far have you liked best? Or do you find that some seem to work better in some situations and others are better for other situations? I know I like the first thing we did, the stem sentences for the forgiveness letter. I like that for what I think of as being kind of big or professional things. Like if I'm in an uncomfortable situation at work or some sort of project where maybe I'm not madly in love with all the people I'm working with, but I want to be able to stay present because I want to do the work. I like that because it really helps me focus on what I can contribute and how I want to be present, which allows me to frame the conversation when I need help or support or have questions about what's coming at me. If I'm working on a deeply personal hurt, like an issue with someone that I cherish, that I want to have in my life all the time, this isn't a short-term relationship like a job or a project, then I like the thing that we did, I think it was last week, where we had the 5 questions on the column, 5 statements, what I'd like to hear, what I'd like you to say, what I wish it said, what I should say. And then the second column is who I'd like to hear it from or who I need to say it to. I like that one for people that I really want to keep in my life, keep close to me all the time. I even use it with people that I wish were still in my life that maybe can't be. Maybe they've moved on or moved away. So I just find different exercises seem to work for different situations and would love to know how you are finding them. And is your cringe list growing or shrinking? When I first started in the training and first started the forgiveness practice, which I really ramped up here a couple months ago, what I found was it seemed like every time I forgave something, then 2 or 3 more things would show up that needed attention. And I found that to be rather discouraging. What I'm finding now is the list keeps growing because I keep adding smaller things. I'm more aware of the little things that I tend to hold on to, that I tend to put in my little score box about, don't like that about that person. And I start watching for more of this trouble. Well, I don't want to watch for trouble anymore. I don't want to ski into any more trees. I really want the path to be clear. I really want to be able to accept people where they are. And I want to know more about who they are and how they function and what's important to them. So that's where I am. I would love to hear where you are. So please join the conversation after all of this. If you sign up on the email list, I can also send you the free PDFs of the exercises. So either if you are just now joining us or if you've forgotten what some of them were, and I can send you the exercises. That way you have a written reference as you work through them and can use them over and over and over again. I want to thank you for joining me. And join us on the Zoom chat after this. I'm Sylvia McIntosh, Certified Fearless Life Coach. Thank you for joining this community and helping heal the holes in the souls of humanity through forgiveness. And I will see you next Friday at 8, and then starting in June, we'll start meeting at 9.